show you just who I am. You know I would. The memories we made fade. I realize we'll never be the same. Why can't you see my view? Eye to eye, what's fake, what's true? You go on and grow past by all that I've known, and I'm left here all alone. Recycle the time that keep racing in my head till there's nowhere left to go. Waiting for you, what am I to do? What am I to do when you're gone? And you're gone, when you're gone. And it's overdue, voices calling to voices that I knew all alone. When you're gone, my hands reach up onto my face, and I don't feel a thing, and I never realized the thing, this thing I call life. Life in these lives. And every day I'm changing and my thoughts keep rearranging. I don't know if it's so real or fiction. My memory is hazy, can't be sure if what I'm thinking's a lie. Don't let me go, I can't go. You go on and grow past by all that I've known, and I'm left here all alone. Recycle the time that keep racing in my head till there's nowhere left to go. I'm waiting for you, what am I to do? What am I to do when you're gone? And you're gone, when you're gone. And it's overdue, voices calling to voices that I knew all alone. When you're gone, my hands reach up onto my face, and I don't feel a thing, and I never realized the thing, this thing I call life. I'm fighting just a fine. Oh no, I found you again. Hello, waiting for you. What am I to do? What am I to do when you're gone? And you're gone, when you're gone. And it's overdue, voices calling to voices that I knew all alone. When you're gone, my hands reach up onto my face, and I don't feel a thing, and I never realized the thing, this thing I call life.
Yeah, sure. Hello, people. Where's your jacket? It's kind of hot outside. Anyways. Yeah, hello, people. Yeah. Today we're going to be modding a Strongarm. I need to get some, like, slow-mo footage of this, so it would be really cool. Yeah. Here's my Strongarm. Yeah, today we're going to be modding it. So yeah, basically what I plan to do is I want it to free drop the cylinder. So I want it to be able to pop out like this and just rip it off. I also want to make it shoot short darts. I want to get rid of the air restrictor, and yeah, that's about it. So this is probably going to be a shorter stream. Maybe will be a shorter stream. Who knows? With these Nerf modding streams, they just drag on forever sometimes. It's like I'm dragging on these nuts. I fell off my skateboard, anyways. If you didn't know, yeah, let's just pull up my Twitter post that I put out, you know, But, yeah. If you didn't know, I actually do have a Twitter. So yeah. I made this post. Yeah. So, yeah. I fell off my board today. I got a mild concussion, I think. I'm sitting in AHN right now, very bored. I was waiting for Kden Live. Yeah, I switched editing software. I'll talk about that in a second. To transcode my video, so I went outside on my skateboard. I accidentally went into cruise control and fell. So, yeah. Now, if you're wondering what happened here, it's basically, I was on my board, and, you know, I was just riding, right? I was going about 20-ish, right? How I normally ride, right? Around 20. And, yeah. Is that scratches? Where the hell did these come from? Anyways, I was going like 20, right? And I wasn't leaning forwards because I was going to brake because I was coming up to an intersection. So I was going to brake, like lean backwards and brake. But instead, somehow I ended up pressing cruise control and I didn't have enough time to react. The board flew out from under me. I was like, oh god, what the fuck? I had to like run, but I couldn't keep my balance. I fell forwards and blacked out for 20 minutes. When I woke up, someone was walking me home and yelling about their trash can being fallen over. So, I don't know. So, that's what happened. I feel fine enough-ish, kind of. I don't know, man. The worst thing is that there's a new hole in my leggings here. Tights. I don't even know if I can. Yeah, right here. And then also, like, right here, there is... There you go. Up here, there's, like, a really big... Like... There's, like, a ginormous freaking road rash thing. It's scabbed over. It hurts whenever I walk now. Very annoying. Whenever I bend my knee, it hurts. It's not because my knee hurts, it's because the skin around my knee hurts. So, yeah. It's actually not too bad right now. But yeah. So that kind of sucks. But other than that, I feel fine. My wrist is kind of fucked up. And my other wrist is also kind of fucked up. But they were hurting a lot more a couple days ago. Yesterday. But they're feeling a little better now, so they're healing. I think they're just bruised. Part of my thumb came off, so it's... Part of the skin around my thumb came off, so just put a bandage over that. So... Yeah, how many days since we've been out of school? Like 2 days, and I've already injured myself. It's not a good sign. Yeah. Now, I did switch editing softwares. I completely deleted CapCut. Don't know why. I was fed up with it, okay? Absolutely fed up with it. I edited a video, and that will go more... Actually, not even more in-depth. It will go little in-depth. But I edited a new video with... Come on. Come on. Okay. There you go. Kden Live. Yay. If it will open my project. Oh, fuck me. Oh. Ta-da! So yeah, it was a Fortnite video. So yeah, I basically just been sitting here editing this. So yeah, this is my new editing software. It actually has a lot of features that I like. And it has everything I need from CapCut. So, yeah, fuck CapCut. Also, they're owned by ByteDance, and if you don't know who those people are, they're the people who own TikTok, and I hate TikTok. So, yeah. As you can see, they have these little, text things. I was able to match the text pretty well to, CapCut text that I would normally use. So, yeah. I made a test video for editing with Kdenlive. So, yeah, I got fed up with CapCut's stupid pro features. Now, if you look at, like, any one of my videos, and you look at the text on the screen, you may have realized that my favorite, like, transition, like, animation effect for, like, in and out is glitch. It's a glitch effect. Basically, it, like, glitches the text and whatever, and then glitches the text out. If you watch any of my videos, that's the only one I've ever used.
Just yesterday, they decided to make it a pro feature. Why?
So it's like, you know what? Fuck it. I've had some issues with CapCut anyways. They've been doing this stupid pro features thing. They have a bunch of AI shit in there. I don't feel like using this anymore. Goodbye, CapCut. Also, people at Tech kept telling me to switch editing softwares. They told me to switch to DaVinci Resolve, but I didn't feel like doing that, so I just went to Kdenlive because it's free and open source. And the funny thing is, I don't know if this isn't okay. Well, my Switch isn't booted into Linux right now, but I have Kdenlive on my Switch. So if I get used to editing on here with Kdenlive, then I can use that to also edit videos on the go. It won't be as powerful, but if I need to edit like an Instagram video or something, I could do it on my Switch. So, you know, pretty nice stuff. Yeah, today we're going to be editing, Today we're going to be modding the Strongarm. Here's the Strongarm. Pretty cool blaster. It's basically a better Maverick, which was like an older N-Strike thing. Also, 3D printer might be coming soon, so that's nice. Yeah. Now, of course, I have another 6-shooter, the Cobra, which of course I modded. Not on stream, surprisingly. Also, I'm just gonna use Dragon Road because it's a good song. So, but I modded the Cobra. I, cut down the barrels so it can shoot short darts. Yeah. Now, the thing about the, also this band-aid came off. Oops. Ah, I'm fine. It wasn't bleeding or anything, I just wanted to protect it. But, yeah, it's a little bad. I, fell like this, and then somehow my knuckle got, I guess it rolled my fingers over. I just wanted to cover that to protect it, but whatever. But yeah, basically, I just want to mod the Maverick to free drop, or strong. I want to mod the Strongarm to free drop out the cylinders. I also want to make it shoot short darts. I want to get rid of its air restrictor. And, that's about it, actually. So yeah, I just want to get rid of the dart posts in there so I can shoot short darts. I want to get rid of the AR in the plunger tube, wherever the hell that is. I want to make it free drop these cylinders, which is going to require some cutting and some sanding. A lot of cutting plier action today, most likely, so that's cool. But yeah. Well, yeah, we can get started with that. So, we're gonna be going on to YouTube here. If we go to my watch later, I put 2 of these here. Now this video is by Captain Xavier. It's his reassembly guide for the Strongarm. So yeah, we're going to be doing that. And then this one's by Mr. Nathan. And this one he made the drop cylinder. Jesus. This one he made the drop cylinder kind of work better. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing.
Strongarm was obviously a top prime revolver, 6 round.
Was.
And the cylinder pops out for ease of loading. The other major feature that it had that makes it so popular is that it does in fact have slam fire, which getting that into a revolver was an interesting challenge, I imagine. And the way they did it was by having the cylinder rotate after you fire. So Maverick rotates as you pull the trigger, the cylinder rotates, which is why it's so prone to jams. The Spectre rotates when you prime it, which is why it doesn't have slam fire. This one, you prime it, and when you pull the trigger, it then rotates. And so if you hold the trigger down and it's primed, it rotates every time it fires. Doesn't have any kind of safety, but it's interesting to see how that slam fire mechanism really works up close. So let's get this thing open.
Alright.
Start by taking a look at the screws. There's our first size.
So yeah, all credit to Captain Xavier here. I guess I'll go feeder mode so you can see the things.
Odd sized ones in here. Looks like I might actually be able to. Don't mind the strange noises. It recently snowed 10 inches here, and snow is starting to melt and fall off. And we'll see if the rail screws are shorter. They are not. So far, the whole blaster is using a shorter screw, which I rather appreciate. It should be all. Careful not to spring any springs, because there are a few that may try. The catch up here, for instance, is prone to springage.
So we gotta worry about the catch, I guess. Yeah. I'm gonna close Caden Live now. Sure. Okay. Whatever you say, buddy. Okay. So yeah, we're just going to be doing a bit of modding. We're gonna just try and hope to get the AR out. I just want a little bit more power. I just want a little bit more power. And I just want to be able to shoot short darts, which will give me more accuracy. So, simple mods. We're gonna just try and hope to get the AR out. I just want a little bit more. Alright, you can hear me. Beautiful. No thank you. Okay. Beautiful. Alright, let's go. Alright. Oh, these screws are gonna take like no time to take out too. There's only like 11 screws I think I counted, so it's not too many. Short screws, not too many of them. Good recipe here. Very tasty. Ah, but how's the return spring? I see. Well, then I won't. Also, the sling mount is molded into the shell, which is interesting. Because on the Strife it was a separate part, but I guess on the Strongarm it's just one piece. Alright, fine. Just magnetize this tip real quick. Stupid ass screw. We'll see how long that light lasts. Actually, I'm just gonna remove it. Yeah, we're in the orange. I'm just gonna plug it in actually. Just in case I need it later, I'll plug it in now. And use my other light. There's two sling loops here. Interesting. There's only 2 screws left. I get this is like all plunger tube and like mechanisms, so we can't really put screws here, which is, you know, cool. Okay, good. Ta-da! All my screws are over here in a nice little pile. I guess I could use my top part of the you know, thing as like a frickin' linear rail for my webcam. Which is kind of funny. Alright, this orange part's one piece in there. Okay, some. Okay, that's the rail. Okay. Well, there's the entirety of the shell already done and gone. Alright, I mean, there goes the entirety of the cylinder. That's actually going to make modding this part specifically a lot easier, because now I can get to that a lot easier. See why disassembling it better? You know, we're just going to take off this part as well. Very easy to know where it goes, so why not? I really need to like 3D print an optic or something. It's the shortest fucking spring ever. It's also very weak. Weak, tiny ass spring. This just goes up here. Ooh, this is cracked. What the hell? You see that? Is that part meant to be bent like that? I'm assuming no. Looks like it's supposed to... Huh. Alright, well, whatever. We'll just make sure to keep this in a nice little spot. That part's important, so I better not lose it. We'll take our catch out, take our catch spring out. We'll have to see how to reinstall that, I guess. We'll just keep that separated. I'm putting it over on a table that you can't really see. This piece is important, I believe. This might be a trigger lock. So yeah, we're gonna watch Captain Xavier's video here. And yeah, we're gonna figure out what everything is.
We're going to take our catch out. Now this was not the first...
The nice thing is he shows both assemble and disassembly, so that's good.
Blaster to have slam fire. Notable earlier ones were things like the Raider and the Rampage and the Alpha Troopers. Take our rail bit out there before it spoils itself from the barrel. But this one has a different mechanism. With those, when the slide returned all the way forward, if you had the trigger pulled, it would immediately fire. This one,
I'm not sure how you're supposed to
when the
disassemble
slide
this.
goes all the way back, it will simply release the plunger. So at no point is it ever actually truly caught. And we'll see how that works when we
That
reassemble.
screw?
So we'll take out the trigger.
Hopefully he
As
disassembled it.
Our first different screw, we have a washer-headed screw there.
Easy enough to remember.
Of course, that might pretty much be the only internal screw. Okay, well, we should be able to lift this whole assembly out. Oh,
Just the whole thing? Alright. I mean, I'll do that. That makes my job way easier. Alright. Get this shit out. Beautiful. Alright, well. Just the whole thing?
this whole
The whole thing, okay. That's just a whole drop-in piece. Alright. That makes modding this way easier. Thank you, Nerf. This is held in with a screw on the actual thing, and then there's just a little thing on here. So we can just put the shell away now. Also, I'll keep this sling loop. I got rid of the other one on the strife. I don't remember why, but I got rid of it. But I won't have this one. So I'll just keep those shell halves down there. And this is the entirety of the internals. Damn. Alright.
assembly out. Oh, we do have another small screw holding in the slide return spring. A small, very small screw there holding in that spring. We'll take the slide off. That's everything off there. I'm going to leave this assembled. Well, looks like part of the assembly doesn't fall. A lot of this is not in fact screwed together. It is we'll leave the cylinder attached. If you want to make a drop cylinder mod, it's not terribly difficult. I don't know if they're going to be, but I have them mod. Alright,
Alright, well, he's not going to show it. However, I believe I know how to disassemble this. So we're just going to set this over here. And I saw this screw all the way down there. Same thread, or same screw, by the way. Nice, thanks, Nerf. watched a video earlier.
Hey guys, it's
yes,
fun.
it's Goober.
Once you've taken out the 2 screws in the back, simply just pull out the barrel.
2 screws. There's 2? So,
Once you've taken out the 2 screws in the back, simply...
Okay, so it comes apart like this. There's apparently 2 screws. I only saw 1. There is 2. Motherfucker. God damn it. Also, I don't know what this HS is. I don't know why that's there. Thank you. Get out. Apparently this just comes apart. Oh, it does. Oh, it does. Hell yeah. Alright, let me grab my frickin'... Oh, God. Okay. Jeez. I had to like reach around. I couldn't find it. Here's my flathead. It's not really gonna help me. Nor is this. There, just something to grab onto. Uh-oh. There's a spring in there. We're gonna have to find that spring. Fuck. You can see all the dart posts. They made this really easy to mod. Thank goodness. Thank you, Nerf. I wonder if darts would just fit all the way through here. They will. Nice. Hopefully I can find that spring easily. Thank fuck. Thank you. I found it immediately. Thank goodness. If that like sprung underneath my computer or some shit, or like went into the wires. Oh god. Okay, well I found it. It is. Boing boing boing. It's a spring. A very, very precious spring. I'm putting this over here. Wonder if this is also the same type of screw. Kinda hope it is. Thanks, Nerf. It's the same screw type. Oh boy. Oh, it's a ball bearing. That's what's making the clicking. That's cool. You see this little thing right here? It's spring-loaded. That's a ball bearing, and that's what's making the clicking. It's indented. on these holes right here. These are clicky. That's cool. Alright, now we grab cutting pliers and we get rid of these dart posts. Just completely get rid of them, because I don't want them. Alright, we're 1/6 of the way done. That easy. Nice. What is Everflags got? Alright, last one. I've just been using these. That one was way easier. There we go, dart posts removed. You can't see any of this. I'm just trying to actually mod the blaster, you know? Ugh, boy. Certainly a lot better now. If I really wanted to, I could, I might do this in the future. I could, like, take something and just, like, round off this even more and, like, get rid of these edges. Not just to, like, clean up those edges, but also, jeez, to clean up the edges, but also to, have everything, like, you could rear load it then, so it'd be nice. I have to be so careful because, like, my thumb has, you know, all of this exposed stuff. Don't want to get any of that. Ah, yes, acrylonitropyridine styrene. A favorite. Fuck me. God damn it. Looks a lot nicer. I really need like a can of compressed air or something. I don't know. There you go, though. Nice and smooth. I can't really get sandpaper in there. If I had that file that I had earlier, but it's not. Okay. Oh yeah, that'll work. Ow. Okay, cool. And it would go back together like that. Like, I don't have a Dremel. A Dremel would be perfect for this. You see how much I would have to, Dremel out for me to be able to, like, rear load? No, that's just not. Well, that's a future mod, I guess.
Just pull out the bouncing. You need to be careful that you do not lose the spring. This spring goes in the bottom of this section.
Bottom. Oh, it's this side that catches. Yes. That has so much damn friction on it. Jeez. Okay, remind me to do that, like, in a more controlled environment next time I do that. Jesus Christ.
Plunger tube has a return spring.
Alright. Now, we still need to mod this section. Is one of these fretted? Yes, and the other one is not. Okay. I'll be able to mark one with threads. Oh, fuck me. Sharpie. There. Just mark that one because that's the one with threads. Okay. Beautiful. Now I know how this goes back together. Alright. Actually, before we even do this, next step is to sand down this and to sand down this, apparently. Everything's just coming apart. Oh boy. Where is my music? Give me my music. Ooh. All of this shit. Get out of here. Get out of here, too. Yeah. Beautiful. How is this like this? Huh. So yeah, we do need to shave those off. Gotcha. Alright. Oh god. No, I'm just gonna take wire cutters. Or my cutting pliers. Same thing actually, I think. We're getting a new sheet. Oh. Get out of here. No. No. Okay, leave S. Oh god. I'm actually just gonna leave this out. Actually, yeah, no, this isn't the best. Pretty smooth. I'll take it. Absolutely hate that smell. Okay, both parts are now sanded. Now I gotta figure out where I need to cut this so it will actually flip out. Sharpie again. about that much material we're gonna remove-ish. So we're just gonna snip it. Seems fine. I just need to get the top. Alright, there we go. Get out of here. So you removed quite a bit of material, actually. That's fine. It's a little sharp, but whatever. Actually, I do want. Especially that corner. Jesus. Yeah, get out of here. Alright, much smoother. Won't kill me now. Beautiful. Okay. Get your ass on. Hold on. Oh, God, you guys leave. Oh, okay. Jesus Christ, my knee. Alright. I started sweating like really badly, so I put on deodorant. It's distracting me. I can't work. Only reason. There we go. That's much better. So you can basically just imagine you would pop it out and it would just go blink, and you just, right? Or 6 times or whatever. Blink. Fresh one in. No.
To clip out the barrel post, simply just get your clippers and clip them out. Or you can do it easier by taking out this screw so this thing can come off. You're clipping. Make sure you do not clip all of these edges off. Otherwise your darts will not have a tight fit. Clip out all of the dart post. Unscrew. Clip out do not clip all of these edges off. Otherwise your darts will not have a tight fit. When you clipped out all of the dart post, unscrew that screw at the bottom. So when you're dremeling, you can dremel off this knob to do a full drop barrel. This is what will come out, this piece. You need to set this aside so the barrel will spin around. So you put that there. Now, time for dremeling. What you need to dremel are these two pieces. So you need to dremel this knob and this knob, so you can do a full drop barrel. Once you dremeled it out, if you want to make it more aesthetically pleasing, you could sand it down. If you want to just do a barrel drop mod, you can stop the video now and just reinstall the barrel. If you want to learn the barrel replacement mod, people watching the video do the barrel replacement mod. Remember, you have to keep that on the back. So what you want to do is just screw it in. Then you want to get this piece and draw with a marker where you're going to cut, because you need to cut this. So this barrel, because this will be permanently stuck into the...
Oh, okay, I see what he's doing now. I'm gonna make like a modification of this mod. Makes literally any sense. So he just says to reinstall this shit, put this back together in the correct orientation. Right, you just put this all back together, right? Whoop-de-doo. Screw this back in. Then you can just blink, and then blink, 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 and then you have to, reinsert it. However, this other guy did a modification of that modification, and he kept this little backplate piece. So basically, the backplate would come with it, but it also isn't attached, but it would come with it. And I like that a lot more. It also might mean that I will keep the clicky. So it's like doubly good. I actually might spin freer now, but I mean, hey. I'll take clicky over free spinning. Yeah. Of course, I would have to, tighten this down, but I don't want to do that because I have to screw this piece in anyways. So, yeah, you would put it like this. It would drop out like this. Now, if it drops out like this, right, then we can't really have this piece in the way. So I'd have to move this piece out of the way. Basically make it just this little, it just needs to be like this little C-clamp, and then all of this can go bye-bye. I think that's what that other guy did.
Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at what may, in all fairness, be considered an outdated mod, but still a good mod. And since we're going to be seeing Strongarms in secondhand stores for a very long time, I still consider this a valid mod. But ever since the days of the Maverick, the predecessor to Strongarm,
This is the one by Mr.
A
Nathan.
full drop cylinder or even a removable cylinder mod, which allowed you to quickly trade out a preloaded cylinder.
Yeah, it's exactly what he did. He just made it spring-loaded, but I don't feel like doing that, so I'm just gonna, yeah. But literally all he did is he kept these in place and the same thing, which also might remove the clicky. No, it's gonna remove the clickies. Ew. Oh, whatever. It's a worthwhile sacrifice. Anyways, if it goes out like this, right? Sigh. Clicky might have to go bye-bye. Sigh.
Cylinder and just shove a new one in, and it was nice and easy because you could just put the. So like I was saying, if you want a nice good solid sidearm, you can just have a hammer shot. Actually, in all fairness, the drop cylinder Strongarm is a good, solid, usable if this is your style. It's not for everybody, obviously, but there's some people who like it. But one of the main issues, as you just saw, is that most mods did away with the piece here that helps to lock the cylinder back in. And so what you have is that you can quickly change the cylinder, but then you have to take your hand off the trigger, push the little button to drop the cylinder in. And that really bothered me. You know, this is a really early mod. This was probably one of my very first mods, actually, when I first got into the hobby. This was before the integration days. But it didn't make sense to me that you took the piece that makes the reloading easier and you disable it. And so what I did, as you can see...
Yeah, he just cut it off completely. No. Shad. Okay, so if I can get this back in the blaster, then I can probably just copy his profile. You shut up over there. Ah, fuck. Okay, that one underneath the shelf. That's a piece of popcorn. That's not... There's the piece. There's a bunch of shit on it. Get the fuck out. Oh my god. Also, the reason I kind of want to do this mod in the first place is A, I could 3D print these cylinders, but also at the same Goodwill I found this one, there was 3 other Strongarms. I can freaking show you on here. Okay, look at this. One, two, three, 4, and there was a mediator. I also saw a fire strike, and there's a stratabow, and there's also a or stratahawk, whatever it's called, and then there's like a double strike, the one that shoots like elite and mega. There's a ton of stuff there. It's really nice. But, turn that back on. But yeah, the ever Goodwill's a lot better, I guess. The ever Walmart's much better. The ever Goodwill's a lot better. It's just like, why? I'm just gonna put this in. Let's go this way. This sits against here or something. I think just here. Yep, like that. Rotates. This is not gonna fit in here, so I'm not even gonna bother. Okay, so of course this now flips out farther down, which is nice. But this piece, I'm assuming, yeah, that's just gonna flip out a lot more in general. Anyways, which makes it easier to reload. Now this piece is pretty free floating. So if you just shove the new cylinder in here and just have this little back part and just carve out a little path for that disc to go back into. I'm trying to put this thing. This needs to go in here, the other side. So I was saying, needs to go in here and lock into the blaster like this, and then like lock into, you know, the entire rest of the mechanism that just pulls out as a self-contained unit. Thanks, Nerf. Copyright 2011. Why can't you make blasters like this anymore? All your stuff sucks now. Except the Doom Cannon. The Doom Cannon looks decent. That's the only good thing I've seen. And one was stupid. Anyways, here's like the Fang. The Fang goes here. I just need this to be able to, you know, pull out like this. Except I don't want this to come with it. But I do, but I also don't. It's very complicated. Yeah, something like that. Because this is gonna flip out, right? Has our cylinder. Actually, I can probably just reassemble this. No. I will reassemble just the actual cylinder without the little thing in the center though, because it's good for testing. So if I reassembled it right now, it would look like this, which makes it a lot easier to reload, and then it would just flip back in the same way, or it did. This side wants to flip down more, but that's fine. Could I just rip it out this way? No, because this is locked in here, this is locked in here. We're gonna look at our reference.
I maintain the partial travel.
So that little thing sticks up out of here. So I guess if just only this part flips out. If this is the only part that flips out. This piece wouldn't be here. And yes, it would be able to freely drop, and then replace, and then slam back in. So yeah, I believe, looking at the reference too, well, if I just, again, pop this out, like this. He made cuts. He like ate into this a lot, actually. This is like halfway up here. And then it's like
Of this piece.
that makes that easier. I guess I could show you the reference. This is what I'm looking at. I'm trying to replicate this thing So we cut off that part. Currently it's flipped out a little bit. It's flipped out to around after. Right, so it's this part. And then I want to say just like a straight line cut. Something like that. Or see if that works. And if I break this one, I'll grab one of the other 3 that I saw. That's the wrong. There, that's the right one. So you can see I just made this cut, so we're just gonna cut here and then cut all this. So yeah. I was gonna move the camera upwards, but this is more of like a lap thing, so. So we're just gonna make a snip there. Jesus. There we go. It's just shot across. Whee! Nice. That also means we can get rid of the little. Sadly, that means we have to get rid of the little ball bearing clicky thing. Very sad. But, I mean, sacrifices, I guess. Where'd my file go? It disappeared. There's my file. Ow. Stop doing that. I believe I kept that piece of sand. Nitrile butadiene styrene. Alright, there we go. ABS plastic. It's just the best thing whenever all of its fumes go everywhere. Oh god. Same with 3D printing. That's the only reason I know about that. About the fumes with freaking ABS plastic? 3D printing. I don't have a printer yet. But I need one. And one of the first things I'm doing is I'm actually going to make more cylinders. If I can't get the other strong arms, I'm like they sell out or something. Just go. It's a good thing I've been charging this. I must rip this open again. That was way easier than last time. Thank goodness. Of course, in like the printed version, I would change a lot about this design. Ow. That hit like right there. Like right next to this. Ow. It like just missed that cut. Are you kidding me? Seriously? I thought the pain was over. In the other video, the guy, Mr. Nathan, he sanded this down, but I'm not gonna bother. Okay, this spring is a bitch. Get! Stupid, goofy ass spring. Is this the right? Yeah, that's the right spring. Sticks out the back. Should. Someone please explain to me how I'm supposed to assemble this. Is this supposed to go in the other way? No. Is the spring supposed to go in the other way? New cylinder, match this in, drop it in. Unlatch, drop the new one in, relatch. I believe the top part has too much tension still, so I'm just gonna snip it off. Something like that. Ah, I figured out what it is. There's this little lip on here that's catching on to the back part here, because that's how it was originally designed to work. So if I bend this downwards, it will always go back in. Do this, pull it out like that. Now it will come out. Put this back in, drop this back in. So you would untension it like that. Sometimes you could just do it with enough force that will just knock out everything. And then when you slam it back in, it's going to auto-align anyways. So as long as this just gets back in there, it doesn't matter. Unless you just shave that off. So that would also fix that problem. But this piece is important because it there's a thing here that is spring-loaded. I can show you actually. So this piece, spring-loaded like this. This is what's interfacing with that, and that's what's actually rotating the cylinder. So this back piece needs to lock into this front piece, something like that. Something like that. So the problem with just keeping this in here is whenever you slam this back in, it can't doesn't have anything to put this back in. And I was just about to say, well, why don't you just shave these down? You can't, because then it would not lock in. You also can't add a ramp. Then also would not lock in. Okay, maybe that is better than clickies. But if you drop this out, put this back in, okay, that will interface this, because this has a ramp up to it. But the thing is, it's not connected to the actual part that turns. It's a separate part. Because this needs to rotate independently of that. I could probably engineer something, design around it, but for now, just gonna keep it like that. Now, would it make any difference if I shaved off that little part? So when I slam the cylinder back in, well, this is the part that's helping it, so it needs to be able to flip out. So this part needs to be able to interface, and having this lock in is actually better. That way you can just do this with enough force. This will come out. You can just fold this back in, pull out the cylinder, you know, put this away, grab a new cylinder, put it in, and then you can just flip this piece down eventually, or you can just slam it back in. Right? You want to do like unsafe way, but if it comes out like this, right, you just pull out the cylinder, make sure this piece comes out, right. I guess you could spring load it. Grab this, drop it in, and then you can just, and then it still lets you slam it back in. So that's an advantage, actually. I'm pretty sure I have a spring around here somewhere. Yeah, right here. I have a sprung. Is there a part? Does this show like fully? Does this show like fully enclosed here? Yes. This will. I can see a spot where you would put a spring if you wanted to, but I don't feel like it. So, I feel like that's all I'm gonna do for this, though. Is this enough? And then just pull this out, pull out the cylinder. That's pretty easy. And then you just grab this. Because this flips down further than this anyways, then it's fine. In fact, I could probably make this flip out even further down, so the cylinder would really get out of the way. Because there's still space here and it's rounded off, so it could probably still keep going. I just have to eat, yeah, just more of that plastic. So if I just make it flip out even farther, then that would work. So it's getting caught on this. It's getting caught on like this edge, so we're just gonna cut it even further back. Just a big old cut in there. Like right here. Oh. Okay, thanks. Sling loop. Okay, it's already been an hour 40. Yeah, I think the stream is long enough. Let's move her. Smooth over this. You're basically just cutting around this post because this is the point of rotation. Physics. Where did I put the other show? Okay. Get out of here, pliers. Get out of here, pliers. Okay. I'll just leave this part for later. I don't need that right now. It's the chunk I broke off. What, from your finger? No. There we go. Yeah, that flips out really far down now. It's like more of a 90. That's just like all the way down. Now it's getting caught on this little piece. But I think this is enough rotation. Is this catching? I mean, this part isn't catching anywhere. There you go. It's actually almost far enough where it just completely clears this, which is what I want. So I'm just going to keep cutting until it clears. And actually, it's now no longer near this post. It's actually just back here. Which was kind of concerning, cutting that close to the post, since that's like where all the weight's going. But now we're cutting away from that. So that's good. So it was getting caught on this little edge. Makes sense. I guess I could just cut a giant diagonal, just all of that off, because honestly I don't need any of it. I could just cut off all of this if I really wanted. If I wanted, but I don't want to. So I'm not going to. But I will cut off some of this. Big chunk of this. That's okay. Yeah, more like that. There we go. There's this like reinforcement part right here, some of the structure, so I don't want to rip that off. I guess I could just cut here too. Just make this square. Because all the other reinforcement pieces are around that. So you can just cut out all that in the center. Now I have a nice big little hole right here. Nice oxymoron. Big little. Okay. The music. I can't focus. move. Good enough. I haven't done it yet. No, it's this. It's actually. It's after this verse. Love that so much. Piano's so good. There's still like this little lip up here, but I feel like it's fine. It should be enough, I think. I think every blaster I own is partially modified. At least. Yeah, no, I modded every blaster. I just like seeing how they work. Yeah, there we go. Right. Now it's just like... Now it's just parallel. It's not perpendicular, now it's parallel. Perfect. Yeah, it's the corner again. If I did just get rid of that corner, it would literally flip vertically. That's funny. You could still just slap it back in, so it works. So we're just gonna flip out both of these. Now you just insert this, grab this, this is gonna get ready, and then slam it all back in. There we go. Now I have this ugly chunk removed here, but whatever. You won't gonna notice that while, you know, aiming down the sides that aren't here right now. And if you knock this out with enough force, it should just auto drop. Nice. Beautiful. Let's test that Fury. Let's see if it will just drop automatically. Look at that. Yes, it will. Nice. So I made every one of my blasters free drop magazines. How? I guess except the Cobra and the Mark II. Because they don't have magazines. And I guess the Villainator, because its magazine needs like a lot of attention. Yeah, so when you're reloading, you gotta make sure both flaps are out, right? You load into the front run, push it up. It should just like basically just automatically go into the second one, and you slam it in. Pew, 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 right? Pew, pew, pew. And then when you want to reload, just knock it out all the way. Eventually it will come free. And you can just slam everything back in. I am very happy with that. That works really well. There you go. Because you can see now it flings both of them out, right? Put this one in. When you're bringing this up, it's already, positioned. It automatically goes back in like this. And then it just slams back in. And then it will be locked in place with the little mechanism over here. So then you have to press the button, and then you press the button, let it drop all the way. Slam everything back in. There you go. Ta-da! Hopefully alignment isn't an issue. That's the one thing I'm hoping. Yeah. Okay. To be fair, that was the main mod I wanted to do. However, I'm not done yet. Because now I need now I want to take out the air restrictor and do all that stuff. So that's what I'm doing now. Where did I take that screw out of? I don't even remember. Well, we'll see later, I guess. They have a whole pile of screws over there. Of course, once I get my 3D printer, I will be making my own custom stuff. I do have plans to make like a revolver. I want it to be like shell fed, like everything else. I want it to be shell fed. So, yeah. However, here's the rest of the blaster. This is the only thing I need to tinker with now. So I don't need this, I don't need this. We can shut you up. Go back to stream setup. And now we're gonna see where the air restrictor is.
But this one has a different mechanism. With those, when the slide returned all the way forward, if you had the trigger pulled, it would immediately fire.
Okay.
This one, if you have the trigger pulled,
it just exploded everywhere.
Back, it will simply release the plunger. So at no point is it ever actually truly caught. And we'll see how that works when we go to reassemble it. So we'll take out the trigger. It has our first different screw. We have a washer-headed screw there. Looks like that might pretty much be the only internal screw. Okay, well, we should be able to lift this whole assembly. Install our catch.
Whoops.
And this is probably how that works when we go reassemble it. So we'll take out the trigger. It has our first different screw. We have a washer head screw there. Looks like that might pretty much be the only internal screw. Okay, well, we should be able to lift this whole assembly out. Nope, we do have another small screw.
Hey, it's not Monday, it's Tuesday.
Holding in the slide return spring. A small, very small screw. Oh. Holding in that spring. And let's get the slide off. That's everything off of there. I'm going to leave this assembled. Well, looks like partially assembled. It does come off. A lot of this is not in fact a screwed together. It is friction together. So we'll leave the cylinder attached. If you want to make a drop cylinder mod, it's not terribly difficult. I don't know if I've ever done a video, but I have done a mod. Alright, our plunger tube has a return spring and can be easily removed. So can our entire assembly. Easily a return spring. Plunger tube has a return.
The plunger tube has a return spring. For what? Why? Why does it move? Here's our spring though. Tiny ass fucking goober spring. No. Okay. Sure. I'm not messing with that.
Spring and can be easily removed. So can our entire assembly. And that plunger tube. Alright. I don't know that I've ever done a video on it. I have done the mod. Alright. Our plunger tube has a return spring and can be easily removed. So can our entire assembly. And that is where slime fire comes from. That little ability for that to rise up like that. And we'll see how exactly that works. All right, let's see what
it's a disconnector.
Well, we do have some words. Are
ridiculous.
They different?
Okay, so I just have to be wary of this screw. Or spring. Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm tired, I guess. I'm not even tired. 10% battery. How are you supposed to remove that?
Tube. Alright, I don't know that I've ever done a video on it, but I have done a lot. Alright,
He just like turned it sideways somehow. Mine doesn't turn sideways. What on earth? Oh yeah. I hit the side of my thumb. Oh, what? Damn it. Ow. Okay. Grab this frickin' dumb spring. Get over here. Ow. God damn it.
plunger tube has a return spring and can be easily removed.
Okay. Ow. God damn it, man. Okay. Here's our plunger tube. With a big old air restrictor I am immediately removing.
So can our entire assembly. And that is where SlamFire comes from. That little ability for that to rise up like that. And we'll see how exactly that works.
Why is it so big?
Here, well, we do have some more springs. And come apart with this here. To start together because it took this on to spring it. As the constant bed rotate. Go. A peg to the cable. There's nicely. It would then. It does have a direction, so there's a slot or a bit right there. That's going to go into the groove on the far side. There. You also notice that that post for the spring is lined up with this notch to hold the spring in place, and that is when we can now install our spring, put it on the post, and then rotate the plunger into position. And that is what pulls the plunger back away from the back of the blaster to break the seal, or on the back of the cylinder. So it breaks the seal on the cylinder, so the cylinder is able to rotate freely. Because the only power that it has to make it rotate is this spring going forward. Usually it's the power of you priming it rotates the cylinder. In this case, it has to rotate freely, and so the plunger needs to push away when you fire. When you fire the blaster, the force of the plunger forces that forward, compresses that spring, and creates the seal on the back of the cylinder. So we also need to make sure that we have this in here the right way, which I'm not sure I currently do. And we will find out as we further assemble it and I figure out exactly how the SlamFire works. Next part we're going to install is this part. And I believe it is some sort of a lock, though I'm not entirely sure what it does. We will figure out as we go. But it goes in here below the rotation mech. I believe it is a cylinder lock. I assume it prevents you from opening the cylinder when the blaster is primed or being primed. It does have a spring which goes in here at the back. It's again not captive, which is never fun to try and install non-captive springs, but it goes, and that's why. They like to spring. But it goes in right here so that this also gets forced to be moved further side.
He doesn't talk about the air restrictor. God damn it. Okay, then we look up air restrictor. That's string. Why is the first result string bikini? Whatever. Strongarm air restrictor removal.
Hi guys, so today...
Why are they all like children? They hate it. Lol, I have more subscribers.
A large, or average size flathead.
I'd say it's average. Christ.
It just popped up really easily for me, but you're probably gonna have to wiggle it, and it's gonna fly, so like be ready to catch it. It'll pop off. But you gotta make sure you just want to slide this out.
Right.
You gotta get it over this white piece of plastic right here. So just bend it a little. Basically, just like bend it up a little and then just slide it out.
My
That's what's inside. But this will work for the Nerf Disruptor as well. But on the Nerf Disruptor, there's no orange bar, so it's a lot easier. But also, all of this is black plastic instead of white. It works like slightly differently. But other than that, the entire innards are all the same. And what you're going to do with this orange canister, you're going to take the spring out. Then, just look at that. See those that orange circle in there? It has
Right.
four orange,
Yes, we see.
plastic, like, stick things that are connecting to the sides.
Stick
That's
things.
Where the flathead screwdriver comes in handy. And the air restrictor is held in by those, and the spring is there. So you can set this aside, and then
Right.
right here, you take your flathead screwdriver and your
Beautiful.
pliers, but you just align it to where your flathead screwdriver is on top of one of the bars, plastic bars that it holds together by.
Come on.
And then from that, you just hammer it down. Once you hammer all those out,
Why don't you just use a hammer?
little spring, yeah, all of this will fall out. And then I'm going to set this aside. And now you can take your plunger tube, put it back into... Ooh, that is terribly sealed. I'll fix that later. But now, for the hardest part of everything, put it back together.
It's literally it. Okay. Alright, now we get hammer action. Yay. Wait, no, you don't get hammer action. It's still slide prime. We're gonna make sure to put this away, and put this away, and put the spring away. You better not fall. At least this one's flat. That's gonna make this a lot easier. Uno. I think last time I showed this, I didn't really show it, so I'm going to show it better this time. Dose. My screwdriver's coming on for a ride. Tress. Get the hell out of here. Quadro. Alright. Let's see what's surprised inside. Ah, a bunch of bullshit. Out! Weak ass, goofy ass, stupid ass spring. Get out of here. I'm also just gonna hammer out these little things. Yeah, because that ain't doing shit, so just gonna tap these out too. Well, that popped out this section. It also, like, broke this in 2 different spots. The part I was hammering and then, like, a different section. Shit. Ta-da. Goodbye. Where's my file? A lot better now. You can see the air has a lot cleaner of a path. even just doing this, I can feel air hitting my hand. So that's good. Alright, I think that's all the mods I wanted to do. Because now we'll also shoot half darts, in theory. So now we just gotta reassemble, test. Obviously, I would still want to be able to rear load. But I'll do that later. Because I don't feel like doing that right now. Alright. I don't want to force that. I don't know what's catching. Oh. Yep, got it back in.
The one really small screw that we have goes.
I'm just gonna
That's
quickly
right, we then
watch.
take our shell and feed that spring up through this hole in the shell right here. And then we are going to push it down on this other, what looks like a screw post, but is in fact simply a friction fit post. Well, that's great. Now we have slide control. Well, alright, now that we have our slide and slide return spring installed, we can go ahead and install the rest of our tools, starting with our primary cluster, which simply drops in right there. There are notches up here to tell you where everything needs to be. It turns out this long orange rod is in fact a trigger lock. When the cylinder is out, when you have the cylinder flipped out, then that locks the trigger. And I'll demonstrate that at the end. I did test that when I showed the
That locks the trigger and the cylinder is out.
controls. In fact, we will install the cylinder so we can see how it works. So this one goes in there, and it should lock onto this part here. Next, we're going to install our catch. And this is probably the more difficult part of this particular rebuild. The catch spring is very, very finicky. It's not captive, and I really wish it was, especially in this particular blaster. But here is our catch. We'll see if we can get it to focus. Probably not. The catch spring goes in that little groove in the back. Like I said, it's not captive and it's very prone to springing, but it will just fall out if you're not careful. And then on the back of the blaster, there is not a really clear, obvious channel, and that is also a problem. But there is a little tab right here, and that tab needs to go under the catch spring that is in here. So you kind of have to push it down and rock it into place. And you can test and see, if you pull down the catch, there's a little window there where you can see whether or not the spring is fully above that little white tab.
Oh,
and
fuck me.
that is a tricky install. It likes to pop loose while you're trying to put other parts in. So you kind of got to hold it down until you get the trigger in, because the trigger does rest on top of it and kind of holds it in place, but not foolproof. The trigger is one of the few parts that is held in with this.
Do I want to... Well, let me test something, actually, because... I was just watching a video. Because I've removed so much material off the other side, I'm wondering if this will even, like, engage this safety, like the lock at all. It just drops in, that's really nice. Well, I probably want to be able to dry fire it, just in case, to like, move the thing. Kind of fucked up its spring, but I'm gonna leave that part out. I saw this like joke video where someone made it fire semi-auto. If you actually wanted to, you just put like a really hefty solenoid on here, or like a motor, like a system, you know, to convert rotary to linear, like a steam locomotive, actually. And then you would just have this go back and forth because that controls that, and then have that same system prime the blaster at the same time. Good luck, but you can do it. I kind of stretched that spring. Hopefully it still works. It. Ooh. Instead of trying to fix that, actually, no, I kind of do have to. See how it's bent? It looks a little better now. I'm gonna put that end. That's not the right diameter. So damn finicky. I don't want to pick up every screw. Get. Oh my god. Get. Okay, well, hopefully that stays. Looks like it's fine, hopefully. Technically, I don't need it for the blaster to function, so I could always just remove the return spring. But it's also kind of cool, so I'm keeping it. It's the freaking coils on the one spring. See, I'm getting caught in the shell. How did it go up that far? Fine. No return spring. Fuck you. No return spring. You get no return spring. Now you get to be boring. Ugh. Sigh. Oh god, this catch is gonna be a nightmare. God fucking damn it! I just checked my phone battery life. I was like, alright, it's probably about to die on 1%. Alright, I'll go turn off my phone, go charge it. As soon as I turn it off, it dies. Are you fucking kidding me? Seriously? Why? This catch spring. Oh, goddamn annoying. Okay, it's in place. Fuck you! Why? Why? Oh, God. Stupid fucking catch spring. Get out of here, ant. Get out of here, ant. Get out of here, ant. Get out! Oh my god. Of course, and then I have to itch everywhere. I hate that. Every time I'm pissed off, I already start itching everywhere. It's so goddamn annoying. I'm already pissed, and then you just have to make me more pissed off. I hate it. God, I still haven't put the plunger back in. Fuck! Of course you will. Will you fuck off? Get out. Oh my god. Move. Okay. Oh my god, man, I just wanna fucking put the blaster back together. Seriously? Oh my god, no. Also, I had extra screws because they go in here. Forgot about that. Okay, here's the cylinder back together. How the fuck did you get over there? Get over here. Okay.
Through, we've got our last internal screw, that washer head screw, which as far as I can tell is exactly the same as the one that we had in our rotation net. I didn't try interchanging them, but they look the same. But there could very well be differences. Okay, with the cylinder out, we can now see how this lock works. Here at the back end, it interacts with a peg on the back side of our catch, and it prevents you from pulling the trigger all the way. You can pull it partially, which is kind of annoying. I prefer a hard trigger lock where you just can't pull it all and you know that it's wrong. However, it will let you pull it part way, but unless this is pushed in, you can't go enough to actually release fully and properly. So that is what that is for. It's not necessary. You could remove it, though there isn't any good reason to remove it. All right. Now I'm going to, before we go any further, I'm going to remove a couple of the springs so that I can fully demonstrate the action, and you can see how the slam fire works, how the rotation neck works, and all of that. So if you're having a problem with Blaster, this should help you figure out which part is having the failure based on what isn't happening, or what is happening. So let's take a look at that. All right, so let's take a look at how the blaster actually functions, how the action works, because it's interesting, and some of it, in my opinion, is a little bit kludgy and prone to potential failure over time. I'll explain why I think that's the case. When you prime this blaster, there are a pair of lugs, I think is would be the term. This one is triangular lug here, and there's one on both parts of the slide, and those interact or engage with this parallelogram looking tab on the back of our plunger rod. And that is all that is connected between that and the prime. Usually there's a metal bar or pegs or something a lot more robust. This is really a very small and flimsy connection in a lot of ways. And that's why there's limits to how heavy of a spring you can put on this before it will break. Because if those tabs get broken or just worn down from too much pressure on them, it'll no longer catch. The slide will no longer catch on the plunger tube, and you won't actually be able to prime the blaster. However, when it does work and you prime back the slide, the plunger rod comes back, and about halfway back, it catches our rotation ring and pulls it along with it. It won't get all the way back, it finally properly fully catches, and it's just like an blaster, it's called. When you pull the trigger, it then releases that, as you can see, and this goes flying forward under the mainspring's pressure. And a number of things happen as that goes flying forward. The first is that it forces the entire plunger tube forward. You'll notice there is a significant gap between the front of the plunger tube and the back of the cylinder. When this fires, this gets forced forward, and it actually seals on the back of the cylinder. This does a number of things, one of which is that it then finally releases the AR. The AR is currently engaged, and all that pressure is building up behind the AR. But once it actually pushes forward, the AR is engaged, and the compressed air in the plunger tube is able to escape into the cylinder and fire the door. Once this comes to rest, then the return spring here is able to force this back, breaking the seal on the back of the cylinder. And that is important because right afterwards, and probably slightly delayed because of a weaker spring, our rotation mech starts to move forward under its return spring. And while the cylinder is still engaged, still sealed on the back of the cylinder, it can't rotate. This doesn't have enough force to overcome the seal. But once the plunger tube returns to its resting position, then the cylinder is free to rotate. And this has enough force to rotate our cylinder as it goes forward. And that's what causes the cylinder to rotate. So if you're having a problem with the cylinder not rotating after you fire, it's either that the cylinder is not able to rotate freely enough, there may be grit or dirt or what have you in the post, and you just need to clean it and lubricate it, whatnot. Or it is possible that your rotation mech return spring has become worn out and no longer has enough force to rotate the cylinder at the point it's supposed to. Or it is possible that this spring has gotten worn out, your plunger tube return spring has gotten worn out, and is no longer causing the seal to disengage, the plunger to disengage from the back. There are a number of things that can cause that. Also, if you put too heavy of a spring in, or too long of a spring, and this is getting pushed forward, that can also be part of the problem. The rotation mech is not able to rotate the cylinder, even when forcing it. It's very difficult when the plunger tube is sealed on the back of the cylinder. So that is generally what's going to cause your rotation mech issue. Either this return, this not rotating, or the seal not disengaging. Now, let's take a look at the slam fire, because it has a very different slam fire mechanism than you see in the Alpha Trooper or when the trigger, how none, when this is legend fire until another condition is met. And they could have hypothetically done that in some manner, I suppose. But this does in fact work. Unfortunately, as I said, it is very flimsy and is prone to wearing out, especially under heavier spring loads. But even normal wear and tear, you will start to get rounding on these surfaces. You can actually see a little bit of it on this one. You'll get rounding on these surfaces, both on the two lugs, or four lugs I suppose, and then it won't properly catch anymore. When you go try to prime it, it'll just slip off. In which case you can take a file and try to sharpen them, but you're going to start weakening and losing material, and eventually they're going to break off. I don't know if anybody has replacement parts for those. I don't know that it's worth it, given that these blasters aren't were never terribly expensive, but it is still a frustration. Replacement parts will probably cost more than just getting a new one, so I imagine that's probably why there isn't much out there. So that is it. The only things left to install are the cosmetics, and I can put some springs back in because I disabled them. Alright, the last few parts to put in, we have our muzzle, I guess you would call it, and our rail block. And as I said, that catch is finicky and likes to pop free, and it buns up. Once again, put our spring in back there. On the notch, yep, got it on there. Okay, we're gonna hold it there. Okay, I think everything is in, so we should now be able to put our shell back on.
As quick as possible.
As per spec, the shell should go together cleanly. If there are things that are bulging or it's not going together, you probably have something misaligned internally. A spring is out of place, bulging or be able to put our
I was just watching Captain Xavier's video a little bit more. Okay. 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 Oh yeah, we got dirts now. Let's go. We got full length dirts and half dirts. What do you want? Okay. That is a little annoying. Oh god, that's gonna flop backwards. God. Alright. Okay, rotation still works. We're just going to test it with some full lengths first. My double loading mechanism. I'm just gonna shoot. Just up the bed. There, I guess that works. Alright, we're going to be testing some waffles, Adventure Force ones. We're going to test this cylinder loading as well, see how it actually works. That is a very unfortunate loss. However, if I do grab the ever Strongarms, I could steal Verspring, so it's not the worst. Whoa. Yeah, hold on. Hold on. It is a little floppy. That is kind of annoying. I wonder if we're gonna make it feed with these. I mean, no. The answer is no. Let's see. I don't know where my ever darts went. Whatever. Also, yeah, we don't need this rod. No, this spring isn't as long as the other one was. That also won't work. I'll replace that, I'll replace that spring, don't worry. It works! Nice. Alright, now let me load some half darts in here. Oops. I accidentally rear loaded that one. Oops. Oopsie daisies. Now I could make them shotgun. I'm gonna do that next. I'll load up another 6 rounds, but this time I'll shotgun them. And I'm actually going to fire these into my target because I don't want to lose the half darts because they're more valuable. I have less of them. So I want to preserve them. We're just going to shoot into the target. Yeah. Yeah. The target. I've always been able to do that actually with the target. Just never showed that off. Yeah, the loading's pretty smooth. Yep, still works. Nice. That is really annoying. There you go. You're gonna have to force it out, but that's fine. And as you can see, we are indeed empty. And actually, now that I'm not gonna be firing these out my window, I'm gonna grab another 6 darts, and we're gonna properly shotgun load this. Now, the range might be so bad that I'm not even able to get this into the target. But we shall see. A nice shotgun revolver. I guess I could use an extra half dart to press down all the other half darts. 3D print something, maybe? Yeah, you never know. I will end up printing cylinders, just saying. I definitely will. Oh, whatever. Yeah, this is not going to work as well because these darts are not in here very tightly at all. Like if I just tilt it forward, they like come out. But it does work. honestly about eating that bad. There you go. Empty. It's a little jank, but it does work. First time I've dropped the cylinder. Oops. I am not gonna dry fire it though. That does not sound nice at all. My next goal is to make this rear loadable and fix that return spring, I guess. Obviously, you would preload these, so you wouldn't have to do that in the middle of like a gunfight or something. So that's fine, it takes forever. There you go, worked perfectly. And yeah, this is what the strong arm looks like with no cylinder in it. Interesting. Yeah, I'm definitely just gonna buy up all of the other strong arms, take them all apart, take out their cylinders, do that little modification, get all their cylinders, and then I'll be able to reload, you know, super easily. I'll be able to just, like, not even speed load. I'll be able to just replace the entire cylinder. I don't even need a speed loader. Although I could probably make a speed loader jig, actually, and that would help. And I probably will definitely 100% do that. So, yeah. At least you know there's no friction over there. Please. I didn't realize how many half darts I actually fired off. Jeez. Alright, darts retrieved. It fires half darts now. Yay. Would I recommend modding a strong arm? Probably. They're actually pretty fun. The only bad part is reassembling that darn catch. The catch is stupid. The catch is really dumb. Yeah, but whatever. Let's see. Rebel. We got the strong arm now. Yeah. So I'm eventually gonna do like another testing Nerf blasters accuracy and range video, because those seem to get a lot of views, so I want to do another one. However, this time I want to do like target shooting instead of like shooting at cups instead of shooting at like a metal target. I think that would be fun. Like my yard's pretty big, so I can just put a bunch of cups around, and then I want to fire some darts at them with some different blasters. And one of the new blasters that I will definitely feature is the strong arm, because this thing's pretty fun. So yeah, sucks that I broke the frickin' spring, but hey, I'll fix it. I'm gonna get the other strong arms, and I guess I could use them for parts for this strong arm in case it breaks ever, and then I'll have a bunch of spare replacement parts, because I'm not gonna remove all the other parts. The only thing I gotta remove off the other strong arms is I'll have 3 extra cylinders, assuming all 3 are still there. I'll have 3 extra cylinders, and I'll also have an extra or I'll have extra springs, so I could increase spring load. I could use those springs to increase spring loads of other blasters, so that's also nice. And I could just use a bunch of the parts from them in case the parts from, you know, the main one breaks. So, yeah. Kitty cat. Okay. Yeah. Again, overall I had fun. There's a cat crossing. Hi, cat. I went to Walmart. Move, cat. I got some smart food. I don't know. What are you doing? What do you want? Yeah. Pretty fun. Modding the Strongarm. Very much worth it because this just looks cool whenever I do it. You know, that. That's just so cool. Popping the whole cylinder out, replacing it. That's just so cool. It just slams back in place. Ta-da. There's a piece of plastic or something rattling around in there, and I don't know what that is. And that concerns me. But clearly it isn't clearly it isn't affecting performance or anything, so I guess it's not important. Yeah. I guess if you just kind of lightly whip it out. If you lightly whip it out. Okay, thanks, Tyler. If you lightly whip it out like this, then you can just, you know, normally spin it, do what you want. But if you put too much force on it, then it will come off. So it's nice. That's actually pretty nice. That way you can just... Okay. Well, unless you just don't do that. Oops. As I was saying, if you just lightly drop it, right, like this, especially if you're tilting the blaster downwards, it'd be really nice if I could tilt the blaster downwards and then rear load it, right? So, yeah, that's the next thing I'm going to do. And then you can just slap it, get it off. I mean, it's only like a couple screws. I could just take it apart real quick, see what that rattling is. Nah, I don't care. I'll figure it out next time, because I don't feel like doing that now. Also, that piece still works even if it's mounted there. So... yeah, who knows? Anyways. I guess it's kind of cool that you can hold in the button, tilt it this way, and then just spin it in place and then let go of the button. It's like a clutch. kind of fun. That's so fun, just popping the cylinder out. I liked being able to just, you know, normally pull the cylinder out like that, right? Of course it didn't go that far, it went like that far, right? But even just like this, that's plenty. Being able to just drop it out, so cool. Yeah, only $3.50 at a Goodwill. So, you know. In hindsight, I should have just gotten the other Strongarms. I really should have. There's no reason not to. I don't know why I didn't. They're right there, Tyler. Get them. Christ. Doesn't matter. Ugh. I really should have just gotten the other Strongarms. I also got the first Iron Man movie. And also, at the Ever Goodwill, I got the first Transformers movie. I want to find Revenge of the Fallen and Iron Man 3, and then I'll basically have every movie that I would want to watch. So, my film catalog has, you know, grown significantly. I have some good movies to watch now. So, if the internet goes down and I really am that bored, then I can do stuff. However, the nice thing is that if the internet goes down like that, well, speaking of the internet going down, the internet goes down like that, then I can just, if the internet goes down like that, right, like it just did, if it does that, right, I just watch movies, or I can model stuff in CAD, or I could do some drawings for, like, Nerf blasters, you know, and then print them, because the printer would run without Wi-Fi. Technically, you can hook it up without Wi-Fi, so... Jesus Christ. It's so cool, though. Yeah, Strongarm, really cool. I liked the Disruptor. I think it's a slightly better blaster, but that's just so much fun. But yeah. Anyways, I've been rambling too much for too long. But yeah, basically, I'm going to go grab the Ever Strongarms probably tomorrow, if they're still there. And I want to go to the Ever Goodwill and see if they have anything there, because they might. In fact, I'll probably just look up on, like, after stream, I'll probably just look up on Google Maps, like, all of the Goodwills in, like, a 10-mile radius, so just go to every single one of them. It's probably a lot, actually. Well, not 10 miles, but, like, actually probably 10 miles. I just know there's a lot of Goodwills around, okay? Because that's the, like, there's, like, at least 3 that I know of. And there's, like, this one with, like, giant bins, so there's a ton of stuff there. And I just want to dig for all of that, and I'll probably find, like, a freaking, I don't know. I'll probably find, like, a Vulcan for, like, $3 or something stupid like that. I'll be able to find, like, freaking Rapid Strike for, like, $2. We ever find, like, I don't know. I'll be able to find, like, an X-Shot motorized piston pump for, like, $5. It'd be ridiculous. That's what I'm saying. I'll be able to find a Terra Scout for $10. Yeah. I definitely want to go to Ever Goodwill. So, yeah. Goodwill is a good place, I think. At least for finding Nerf blasters, especially for Nerf blasters, really good place. And hey, if they're broken, open them up, mod them. No harm. Plus, if you do break something, it was only like $5. Who cares? Yeah. Like, I literally have that much in frickin', you know, pennies. Like, I don't care. Whoop-de-doo. Anyways, yeah. Pollinator is ending the stream. If you're going to bed at 10:39, good job. I'll probably go to bed in a second here too. But yeah, either way, good night. So much fun. Oh yeah, new video. I'll upload soon. Probably tomorrow. Who knows? Yeah, well, yeah, probably.